Hello, lads. It's movie review time, which some of y'all like and some of y'all don't. Uh, but for those who do, you're in luck. And for those who don't, you're not in luck. The movie that I want to talk about is a movie that came out a few years ago, and it's a very interesting character study, and it's also, I know the word cringe gets overused, but it is a movie where you're cringing a lot at the behavior of the main character. The movie is called The Kindergarten Teacher. The star of this movie, the titular, that word always makes me into Beavis and Butthead, especially in a movie where there actually are tits, which there are in this one. So if that's a selling point for you, then I don't know. But in any case, the titular character is played by Maggie Gyllenhaal. She is a kindergarten teacher, and when we first meet her, she's sort of giving evidence. I think it's like I don't think she's quite what we would call menopausal. Like she's maybe a little bit young to be categorized as menopausal, but in any case, she's showing signs of instability. She has a loving husband who it should be said is considerably less attractive than she is. Maggie Gyllenhaal, I would say, she's kind of dowdied up in this movie. In this movie, she's maybe a 7, but I think I would say she's an 8. Looking like she normally does. But the guy she's with, and I hate ranking people, but just to give you an impression of everything, he's definitely a 4 or a 5. He's this chubby guy, kind of ineffectual. She's got 2 kids who are approaching college age. The daughter is somebody that she's that Maggie Gyllenhaal's character is deeply disappointed in because she wanted her to pursue this artistic side that she thought she thought her daughter had, but now she's just more interested in scrolling social media and flirting with boys and doing teenage girl type things that her mother sort of thinks she should be better than that. And her son wants to join the Marines, which in this liberal New York family is sort of making them making both of his parents driving both of his parents crazy. Saying that she said, okay, you want to end up in a desert, fighting, shooting people for oil, so they go off on him. In any case, she's not really happy with her family. You get the feeling she's not really all that interested in her husband and the way that she responds to him, and her children. Her now almost grown children seem to have let her down. And so there is this narcissistic streak, of course, or I don't know if you'd call it narcissistic, but whatever it is, when you have a character who wants the people in her life to be a certain way, and she feels disappointed in them if they're not the way that she wishes them to be. It's something that I'm fairly judgmental about as a parent, because I both of my kids, I've never had any expectation. I've never had any they're going to be this, they're going to be that, they're going to be just like, they're going to share these traits with me, or whatever. It's never been an issue for me. I just want them I want them to be good and to be happy people. But but Maggie Gyllenhaal, the kindergarten teacher, she's the kind of parent who has an agenda for how her kids should be, and in a way that, you could say that's good, because she has standards, but on the other hand, you get the impression that it's like, in some way, and like she's seeing them as an extension of herself, and she's disappointed in herself as a character. She feels like she hasn't panned out. She feels like, she had this possible talent, but it was never nurtured enough. She goes to this poetry class, which is taught by this total douche, but he's a handsome guy, and she's got a crush on him. But I mean, he's like this another another archetypal character that I hate. He's this phonily, I don't know. He pretends to be all enthused by his students, and it's mostly grown people in his class. It's like an adult education sort of class, poetry class. I think creative writing classes are generally sort of a little cringe. It's not something I would recommend to anybody who wants to be a writer. I would not recommend taking a class where you're writing stuff and then you're reading your stuff out to other people and to a teacher. I just don't find that's I don't find that's a setting where I don't find that's a setting that tends to bring out the best in people. It just becomes this ego fight. And everybody gets catty. Everybody, sort of, everybody gets passive aggressive. And that's definitely what happens in this movie. So I can't believe I've talked for over 7 minutes. I haven't gotten to the crux of the story. So here it is. The crux of the story is, she started taking this class, and she's a kindergarten teacher, by the way, obviously. And she seems to be a good kindergarten teacher. She seems to be engaged. She seems to, really enjoy the kids that are in her kindergarten class. She seems, very attentive and to approach it with a lot of enthusiasm. But a problem arises when she finds that one of the kids in her class, a young boy, has this sort of preternatural talent, where, just every now and then he just spews out a poem. He just suddenly puts these words together in this way that seems way more profound than his years. And she's so taken with him, and she's so amazed by his abilities that it just totally sends her off the rails. So she started off at this poetry class. She started off writing her own poetry, and then it's sort of met with okay, that's good, yeah, that's good. Could you maybe do a little bit more, the kind of stuff that you hear when people really don't like it, but and they're just trying to be positive, but they can't just say, oh, I liked this or I liked that. They have to, throw in stuff to sort of make you feel shitty. So another reason I just don't recommend that kind of setting. Anyway, that's a different issue entirely. But later she starts she starts recording what this kid is saying, and she starts writing. She starts reading his poems out to the class. And now the class is all like, wow, you've really got something here. You're really growing as a poet and as an artist. That's what, her douchey teacher, says. And so this kid that she meets, who she sees as having this kind of rare talent, she starts becoming obsessed with him and with sort of helping him nurture his talent. And she wakes him up during nap time and takes him places and talks to him about in ways that are supposed to be again helpful, that are supposed to cause him, make him think more along the lines of being a great poet or whatever. And the thing is, he's just a regular kid. He's just a 5-year-old boy. He's pretty ordinary in every way, except for having this proclivity to suddenly do these little just spit out these poems. And it's like in this fit that comes over him, and he starts pacing, and then he starts saying these lines. So she starts becoming obsessed with this boy and wanting to make sure that he's nurtured in a way, and she goes, like, she gets into it with the girl who comes to pick her up, which is her the boy's nanny. Thinks that she's not taking him seriously enough. She's talking to him like like he's a puppy dog, and not. She's not aware of his gift. She even talks to the kid's father, who runs this business. He's sort of a bigwig kind of guy, but maybe kind of not like a sort of absentee father, or not somebody who's all that invested in his son's life, except as a provider. There was some messy divorce, and now the kid's mother is gone, and he doesn't see her anymore. And so she gets way more involved than is appropriate. She asked the kid for his number. Like, he shouldn't even have a phone. He's too young to have a phone, but he does, because he's from this sort of wealthy, again, father figure who provides a lot, but who's not really there that much. Maybe more of an old fashioned father who sees himself as just more the nurturing type. And but anyway, she starts calling him on the phone, talking a 5-year-old kid, and it never takes it's creepy, but it never, you never feel like, she's actually going to initiate something, really out of bounds, like anything sexual. It's not about that at all. It's more that she is just obsessed with this kid, and wanting him to have people in his life that help to reinforce, his artistic talent. His father seems uninterested. His nanny seems uninterested. But so she just goes way overboard, and takes it, says that he's sick so that he won't go with his friend to baseball practice one day, and takes him to do a poetry reading, and then that results in the father, not being upset about how this happened. And it's kind of weird that she doesn't get in any trouble at her school, because she's doing all kinds of things that are plainly inappropriate, beyond inappropriate, as involving herself in the life of this boy. And then eventually the father moves him to another school which has the influence of moving her to do the most inappropriate thing, which happens at the end of the movie, where she, I don't think this isn't too much of a spoiler, but where she actually absconds with the boy, with no real plan, but she just takes him to a lake house hotel somewhere in upstate New York, and has these vague ideas of becoming the boy's surrogate mother, and sort of abandoning her own family because again, her husband's kind of a dud, her kids are disappointing, and so forth. But she doesn't prosper. That's all I'll say. And so by the end of the movie, it's sort of like I don't want to be too provocative here, but I think, dare I say, that our age produces a lot of women who are not quite as out there, not quite as nuts as this character, but there is this unfortunate proclivity, I'll say. There's a spectrum of women who, when they get to a certain age, and they feel disappointed with their lives, feel justified in, or I don't even know if they feel justified. It's more like just something really just impulsive. This is like a slightly more exotic take of like a woman who I don't know, runs off with a younger man because she's just gotten bored with her husband, and her kids are a drag and stuff. In this case, the younger man is a little boy, and there's no sexual overtones. It's more like, like I said, wanting to be a surrogate mother to him. But I find that the movie is, without, you don't want to be overly judgmental of characters, even when they're deeply flawed. You want to try to help. You want to see them in a sympathetic lens, or try to see things from their perspective or their point of view, and there is a tragedy to her character that one can empathize with, even if one completely disapproves of her and the path that she's taken, the behavior that she's displaying. But I find the movie interesting because it's a rather unflinching look at this particular kind of woman. And it might be controversial for me to say something like this, but hell, look, you all know who I am. I mean, oh no, this is going to get me canceled, right? Oh no. I will dare to say, I think this movie, without intending to do such a thing, but because it's so brutally honest and unflinching in its portrayal of this character, it displays something about the state of things today, the state of a certain sector of womanhood, I'll just say. Women who, when they become aware of aging, when they become aware of having passed their prime, and maybe feeling disappointed with their lives, how something in our society, something in our messed up culture, just lets them feel like it's okay to just do something that's completely wrong, completely immoral, completely irresponsible. In her case, it's just a more interesting what she does is just a little bit more interesting, a little bit more exotic, a little bit more off the beaten path, because she has, this artistic sense, and she wanted to be an artist herself, but she feels like it's, her whatever her time has passed her by, or she's been ground down by life, and she could never become the poet or the artist that she wanted to be. So she wants to and her kids aren't turning out the way she wanted them to turn out. So she's now putting all of her eggs in the basket of this little boy who really, is only a student of hers. She shouldn't have any other, she shouldn't be doing all these other things with him, and all these kind of sneaky things. But again, it seems like it's in a way similar to behavior that we see from a lot of upper middle class, liberal type of women. Not just liberal, not just not only it's not a it's not a left or right kind of thing necessarily. But anyway, that's part of what I see as interesting about this movie. I've been much more rambling in my dissection and analysis than I wish I had been, but nevertheless, I'm going to let it stand. And if you got bored, I would assume you just probably stopped watching, 10 minutes ago or 15 minutes ago or whatever. But God bless you if you stayed to the end. Thanks a lot. Let me know your thoughts below if you've seen the movie, or if you have thoughts about it as I've described it here. Thanks for watching.